Hello and welcome to another 31 Days of Horror 2018 video. What is the 31 Days of Horror? Well, it's where I try and watch 31 horror films during the 31 days of October. The catch being, I can't have ever seen them before or can't remember having ever seen them before. It happens. Today we are going to, well, yesterday I figured I'd watch a killer truck movie. Didn't end up being a killer truck movie, per se, but I figured I'd follow that up with a killer truck movie. Yes. So I was kind of going to do a double bill type thing, but then it wasn't a killer truck movie, so I didn't do that, so yeah, whatever. I stuck with the plan, kind of, and yeah. So we are looking at 2010's Roadkill. I think it was originally titled Road Train. It's an Australian film, and it's this. You can see this DVD is part of the Fangoria Fright Fest. I don't know what that is. If you do, comment down below. I'm guessing it's some kind of, I don't know, film festival or something along those lines. Put out by Fangoria. Maybe it was just a bunch of, maybe it was a contest. I don't know. I wasn't really reading Fangoria when that was going on. I think I was reading Rue Morgue. I could be wrong. I don't know. Time, old, it happens. The film is essentially, we've got 4 young adults, 2 couples essentially, who well, they're let's just say they're driving along, and they get massively destroyed on the road by this truck. And yeah, they are in the outback, and so they're kind of stranded. So they decide to go looking for help, and they come upon the actual truck abandoned. And so they decide, hey, we're gonna take this truck and, you know, see if we can get to civilization, because, you know, one of them is injured and they need help, and they, you know, they don't have supplies or stuff to last in the outback type thing. So they take the truck, and, well, it's not your regular truck, it's a supernatural truck. And yeah, so things get a little weird from there, and yeah, essentially everybody passes out in the truck while they're driving, and somehow the truck gets off the main road, and they end up stopping in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the outback, kind of on a precipice of a cliff, and they get stranded there. And then, yeah, for most of the film, the truck isn't moving. So what happens? Well, you're going to have to watch the film to find out. But let's just say the film opens with a relatively gratuitous sex scene. Very blasé sex scene. Just sort of stationary camera, as if somebody had put a camera there and was filming themselves having sex in a tent. Yeah. Wow, great camera work and direction and etc. are abound in this film. So you later find out that, you know how I said there was 2 couples? Well, apparently, yeah, one person was not doing it with the right couple person. So yeah, so there's some, you know, drama in that regard throughout the film. And people die, and if you didn't figure out what was going on with the truck early on, eventually you find out what's going on with the truck. Spoiler, not spoiler, yeah, the truck survives on people. It's got to be fed people to drive. Doesn't take gas. Yeah, I think that's kind of in the trailer. Didn't really give anything away there, did I? So yeah, so that's essentially the film. It's directed by Dean Francis, who has not done anything before or since really, some short films and stuff, written by Clive Hopkins, who's essentially in the same boat. There's more than 4 people in the film, but really there's only 4 people in the film, and that's the 2 couples. Now, you would think, seeing as how the director and the writer haven't really done anything before or after that, you know, the people in the film wouldn't have, but that's not entirely true. No. We'll go with the females first. We've got Georgina Hagg, who plays the role of Liz, and she's done some television and stuff like that. Not a lot that we'd probably recognize here, you know, at least not North America and such. If you watch Once Upon a Time, you will probably recognize her as Queen Elsa. Let it snow, let it snow. Yes. But she was also, going back a few years, like after this film actually, but before Once Upon a Time, she was in Fringe. She played Henrietta Bishop for a few episodes there. So you might recognize her from either of those 2 little ditties. Next up is Sophie Lowe, who plays Nina. Now, Nina's done a few, you know, low-budget horror type things. One being The Clinic, which she did after Roadkill. And then there's the film After the Dark, which I haven't seen, but I do like the premise behind it, so I'm going to see if I can track that down. And that was like 2013. And outside of that, again, television, lots of television. Once Upon a Time in Wonderland, the TV series, she played Alice for the 13 episodes for that. But probably, I think, for modern audiences, if you saw The Returned, if you've seen, you know, people, I think that's a sci-fi series. She played Lena, it was Lena Winship. So yeah, she's continuing on. She's still acting, but it's the guys who have actually done the most stuff. Starting off with Xavier Samuel, who prior to Road Train played the part of Brent in The Loved Ones, a film I love, absolutely love. I don't own it. I have to get that. If you haven't seen it, then you should see it as well. Then went on to be in Bait, and eventually ended up playing the role of Riley in the Twilight Saga. And in 2015 played Adam in the Frankenstein movie. So, you know, has some genre credits to his name for sure. But the biggest one, and the one that you may actually go back and go, oh, that's the reason why I'm going to check out Roadkill, is because of Bob Morley. Bob Morley may not make any sense to you in terms of his name, but if you have ever watched Home and Away, he was the Drew Curtis character in that. If you ever watched Neighbors, he was Aiden Foster. Again, these are not necessarily big shows up here, but you know that show, what is it called? The 100? Yeah, he's Bellamy Blake. Now you know who I'm talking about, don't you? Yeah, okay. Well, turns out, there you go. It's not where they all started, but there's the connecting factor between those 4 people who have done worse and better before and after. So, such is the way as acting goes. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some, right? Yeah, the film, good and bad. Good. I like the look of the film. It is well shot. The acting is actually, I'll give them all credit. They Some people probably acted a lot better than they should have for a film of this nature. But outside of that, the story itself, it blows. It blows. I mean, you take out the truck and it's pointless. It's just a bunch of people. Leaving the truck, it doesn't matter. It just blows. The truck doesn't really do anything. You don't get to see anything cool until the very end, essentially. The climax is when you get to see cool stuff with the truck, and not even in an action way. There's some terrible edits in the film, like really terrible edits. Yeah, so writing, directing, editing, not very good. Not very good with this. Acting, cinematography, and even sound design is good. But unfortunately, to make a good, interesting film, it really does start with the writing. It really starts with a good story, and I thought I was going to get something like The Car, but with like a tractor trailer, Maximum Overdrive style. And I do think the original Maximum Overdrive, was it Trucks or something like that, is probably more along the lines of what I was thinking. But at the same time, it's like, I figured, I started watching, okay, well, maybe it's like The Car meets Blood Car. And yeah, it kind of is, but kind of isn't, because really the truck doesn't do anything. It's these four people who are just, you don't like any of them. Even the final girl, you don't care about her. They're annoying. They are just terrible characters, assholes, unlikable, and you kind of wish that the truck would just kill them. But, of course, the truck can't do that because the truck needs people to be able to feed it. But, yeah, honestly, there's no way this truck could survive. It just can't survive. Yeah, the truck needed some way of, like, eating the people through its grill. Like, if that was happening, then this would have been an awesome film. Just seeing people, like, getting hit by the thing and sucked into the engine or something, that would have been awesome. But that's not what this movie's about. Not at all. No, it's about a bunch of whiny young adults who, doing young adult things, not behaving like they should, messing around, causing trouble, and essentially getting their comeuppance because of it. Yeah, it's just boring. It's really, really boring. It does have a lot of gore eventually in certain areas, but for the most part, there's nothing. I don't know. I don't think there's much I can say about this to sell you on it, and I don't think that I would want to, because I wouldn't recommend you watch it unless you're a fan of those four people. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Nope, I got nothing. I really do. Not have anything I can sell you on this film. It's a cool truck. I'll give them that. It's a cool truck. But, yeah. 2 out of 5 is what I'm going to give it. Yeah. It's a bad movie. It's a bad movie. There's nothing really I can say. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if I watch the making ofs or something, I might get sold on it a bit more, but I'm not at this moment sold on anything in this film. We'll just put it there. Let me know down below if you've seen the film and what you thought of it. Am I, off my rocker? Am I getting run over here? Or am I running over this film? I don't know. Let me know what you thought. Keep it spoiler free as much as possible, even though I gave away a good portion of it. I didn't give away specifics, but a good portion of what's going on. The reveal, I gave that away, but the reveal wasn't much of a reveal because it's essentially, you should be able to figure it out. I'll just put it that way. You should be able to figure it out between the trailer and early on in the film and what's happening. If you can't figure it out, well, you haven't watched enough horror movies. That's all I'll say. Doesn't even make a good Twilight Zone episode. So disappointing. So disappointing. Anyways, more 31 Days of Horror to come. I've got another at least 4 movies to watch. Luckily, I've got at least 4 days left to go, so I can do it. Yes, I can. As long as I don't watch movies I've already seen and then realize after the fact. It happens. Anyways, yeah, thanks for watching. Till next video, take care. Have a good one.